Hello guys, I'm back with my new video. This video is regarding this Apache Kafka. Uh, Whenever you are working in a company where there's a big data involved, the consuming of the messages there from the upstreams and the consuming of the bulk data, you can say that on daily basis, then you will have to use this component called Apache Kafka to read the messages and to flow the messages there. You know, so it's mostly used in the companies where the bulk of data is getting processed every day. Okay, for example, if you're working in investment banking domain, so then there are a lot of trades getting happened on daily basis. So how to get that information about every day, how to process that messages every day. And for example, if you are working in WhatsApp, so there you will also have the bulk of messages flowing there, right? So this is a mechanism being created by Apache tool. Apache environment provides this Kafka tool to process the bulk of messages in one go. Okay, so there are there are different components there in the Kafka. I'll tell you what exactly is Kafka first, and then what components are there in Kafka, what is the message there, and what is the consumer, and what's the Kafka cluster, and then topic, and then partition. What are the partitions we make, and how many partitions to keep? All these things I'll tell you in this topic. And then what are the Kafka offset? Okay, and last we'll tell you about the consumer groups. Okay, so this is something like valid information you'll get into this. Okay, so we'll start with it. What is actually the definition of Apache Kafka? Okay, so whenever there's enormous volume of data is being involved, there we use this Apache Kafka tool in the big data environment. Okay, so regarding this data, there are two main challenges. One is to how to collect the large volume of data, and second is to analyze the collected data. Now, when you have already collected the data, then you need to analyze that data as well, right? So this is why we use Kafka. Okay, to overcome. So it's a kind of the messaging system. You can say that you might have heard about this messaging queues and messaging frameworks. So Kafka is one of them. So what exactly Kafka is? Okay, so it is something like this structure is something like whenever there is a sender there, okay, the sender will send the messages into this queue, okay, and this queue you can say that it's Kafka queue, and then the receiver will receive the messages. This is a basic flow of Kafka. The sender or producer will send the message to the messaging queue, and then this messaging queue messages will be read by this receiver. Okay, now the main point is, why do we need this intermediate between both? Why cannot we directly send the message from sender to receiver? Then when you go ahead in this video, I'll tell you why do we need this intermediate between the sender and the receiver. Okay, moving ahead. So I'll tell you one example. Suppose you're working in a Reliance digital market. You're going to for shopping there. You are buying. There are different billing counters there, right? So suppose there are 5 billing counters. So if every billing counter, so there will be a lot of billings, right, at the same moment of time. So how to segregate everything, that how to make sure that your server is not loaded with bulk of data, so that it's also working at the same time whenever there's a bulk of data involved. So we will try to segregate the data of every billing counter specifically. So Kafka will help us to segregate the data, to segregate the billing data, and with the help of the different consumers, and with the help of different uh, so we'll not directly publish the message to receiver, but we'll take the help of Kafka to segregate the messages basically. Okay, moving ahead. So if you talk about the components of Kafka, these will be the mainly we used components. One is the Kafka producer, then we have consumer, then we have offset, then we have consumer groups, Then we have Kafka cluster, then we have topic, and then broker, zookeeper, and partition. These 9 components are there, and there are more as well, but these are mainly used. Now, what exactly is producer? Why do we use Kafka producer? Okay, so producer is equivalent to the sender. Okay, so application that sends a message to the Kafka server is called a producer. In a simple layman language, the sender who sends a message is equal to producer. And now what is a message? Message is equal to array of bytes, you can say that. I'll give you one best example. Suppose you are sending a text file there. Okay, you want to send a text file to Kafka, suppose. Okay, so each line of that message will act as a message. Each line of a text file will act as a one message. So if there are around five lines in your text file, it will be 5 different messages will be sent to the Kafka. So this is what Kafka is doing. It's segregating the data so that it helps in better performance. So I'll tell you this basic example now. This is the producer. Producer will send the message to the Kafka server. Then it will go ahead to the consumer. So this message can be anything. It can be text file. It can be CSV. It can be anything. Okay. Inside the message, inside the file, we have messages, different messages there. Now comes what exactly is consumer. Application that receives the messages from Kafka server is called consumer. So this is a whole flow of that. Producer will send the message to the will send the message to the Kafka server, and this Kafka server message will be consumed by the consumer. Okay, going ahead, I'll tell you why this intermediate is required. I'm still not we're still not clear why it is required, right? So we'll move ahead. Now, why do we need this Kafka cluster? Okay, so right, I'll tell you now. If you go ahead, if you compare this graph with this graph, it's slightly different. Okay, so moving ahead also, I'll tell you the more complex thing, but I'll start from the easy one. Okay, so here we have different producers. It cannot be the case where it's only one producer, right? So if I'm talking about the billing counters, there will be 3 different billing counters, suppose here. So these producers is equivalent to the billing counters in Reliance Digital Store, suppose. Okay, now I cannot process it. These 3 messages I cannot process is like, we need something to process the message in the Kafka server as well. We need the brokers. So brokers will take care of each producer, or one broker can read more than 2 producer messages. It depends on the configuration that you make. To make our task more easy, so this is the Kafka cluster, you can say that. A Kafka cluster has different brokers. It is a group of computers acting together for a common purpose. It is a cluster of multiple brokers. The main purpose is to divide the load on server. Suppose if you are sending these 3 messages from the 3 different producers, then where is the benefit of that? Because still we are sending the 3 different things in the same Kafka server. So here we need to segregate the data, right? So for that, we need to divide the load. How to divide the load? We can create different brokers, broker 1, broker 2, and broker 3. Okay, and this is inside the Kafka cluster only. So this is a combination of this broker is called a Kafka cluster, and each broker can be read by each consumer. There can be different consumer as well. So if we are talking about this Reliance Digital Store, this billing counter 1 will send the message to the broker 1, and this billing counter 2 is also sending the message to the broker 1, depending on the size of the broker or the load of the broker. This is how we make the configuration as well. Okay, so it cannot be like case, it's not one-to-one mapping. It can be one-to-many mapping as well, basically. And here's the same case as well. One broker can be read by different consumer as well. It depends on the configuration that you make in your system of a Kafka system. Now moving ahead, what exactly is a Kafka topic? Now, why do we need topics there? Why cannot we work like this? We are actually working like this, but it's a more in-depth knowledge. What is happening inside the broker, or what is happening inside the cluster. Now, there are some topics there. Basically, whenever you want to process a message there, you will go for a different topic there. You will not directly process, because you know, if you see this, if you're referring to this Amazon website, suppose, okay, so you are shopping on online on Amazon website. So there are different producers for different domains. Like one is a clothing domain, one is the vehicle domain, second, third is a smartphones domain, fourth is a others domain, you can say that. So these three, this is a same as the earlier diagram that I showed you. This Kafka cluster is same, but inside this we have brokers, right? So inside the broker as well, we have different topics there. We cannot say that I can read every topic. Each topic can read every producer. This depends upon how you make the configuration. What in my case, suppose this is a case where producer 1, producer 2, and producer 3 are publishing their messages on this topic called orders v1 topic, and this others are going on the other topics. This is also to make your task easy, so that your server is not loaded, your topics are not loaded with all the messages. So we segregate your messages on different topics. We can create different topics like order 1, order v1, order v2, or we can create topics similar to like I can create one clothing topic there, I can make one vehicles topic there, and I can make one smartphones topic there, so that my there's no compromise in my performance of the application. Suppose it can be the case where one topic can be dead, right? So it's better to create different topics. If that I'm not able to receive in one topic, then I can receive from other topics. But that is why we are doing the segregation of data, so that you know, we are not dependent on all that. My whole application is not dependent on only one thing, only one topic, and only one broker, right? So here as well, this orders topic will be read by the orders consumer only, okay, and this other topic will read by the other consumers. This is how you segregate the data in your Kafka cluster. Okay, let's move ahead. Now, why do you need partitions? Now we are known that we need this topics, right? Inside the topic as well, there is a requirement of partitioning the topics, the messages, you can say that. The Kafka topics are divided into the number of partitions. So it actually allows you to parallelize the topic by splitting the data in particular topic across multiple brokers. So basically, we are doing the different level of segregations as per the level. We are going in each level, we are segregating the data for understanding better about what messages we are getting read. So this is why enormous data can be break down into the smaller pieces. Okay, so in this case, we have made 4 kind of partitions inside this v1 topic. It can be many partitions. It depends upon your requirement, your configuration, how much you need it. Okay, how much strength of how much strength of the partitioning do you need? It all depends upon your requirement. Okay, and everything is configurable. It's configurable from Kafka side. Okay, now how to tell that how many partition we can keep? How to make sure that that this topic will have around 4 partitions or 5 partitions? How can we calculate that basically? So the mechanism to calculate my partition is, suppose we can take an estimate there that my each partition, single partition, is taking 10 MB per second. So my single Kafka topic runs at 10 MB per second. This is the assumption I'm making. Okay, and this is an average kind of speed, you can say that. For single partition, for a single Kafka topic, it runs at 10 MB per second. As an example, if your desired throughput is 5 TB per day, okay, so that means that it will be around 58 MB per second, right? If you are making like 5 TB per day, then the figure comes out to be 58 MB per second. I need to make the messages. Then my each partition topic is 10 MB per second. So I can make a calculation that, okay, I need to process 58 MB per second. So 10 into 6, it's around 60 MB. This will work. So I can make 6 partitions here. So instead of 4, I can make 6 partitions here, depending upon the throughput of my topic, or of my desired throughput, you can say, of the messages that I'm getting per day. Okay, this is how you make the calculations. And this is a command where you can write where you can define how many partitions you want to make. For example, in this command, I'm marking the 6, which I'm calculated by my own. So basically, you can calculate, you can make your own calculations about depend upon your application throughput, okay, that you are saving, and you can make the calculation and you can just put it here that I want 6 partitions here for this topic, particular topic. Okay. Now comes the significance of this the Kafka offset. Why do we need this Kafka offset? What is this Kafka offset? The Kafka, this is happening inside the partition now. Okay, so I'm getting like everything, I'm getting the deeper side. I started from the producer, then I started into the Kafka cluster, then I started into the Kafka cluster, then I came to this topics, right? And I came to this topics inside the Kafka cluster, then I came to this inside this Kafka topic, I came to this partitions. Now I'm going inside the partitions to see what are Kafka offset. These are the sequence ID given to the messages they arrive in the partition. Now we have the messages there in the partition, right? Now, how to identify the messages that are coming in the partition? For every message, these are M1, M2, these all are messages. For every message, we need a sequence ID, because we need to identify what ID, what message has what ID. So to identify that, we have signed there like 0 is ID of this M1, 1 is ID of this M2, 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. Okay. And one thing to notice, Apache Kafka stores the message in an order of an arrival in the partition. So it will not be like M1 here and M3 here in the last. It will be in the sequence. Okay. And we can assign in sequence the sequence ID as well. Okay. Now how to locate a message? We can locate a message with the help of this topic name and then the partition number and then this offset. So this is a mechanism to locate a message in my partition by the help of the topic name. Okay. First of all, this Kafka cluster, then go to the topic name. Where do you want to go? Then go to the partition number. Where do you want to go? Inside the partition number, go to the offset. So offset is a sequence ID, you can say that, where I can find the message. Now comes a best example why this tells the whole picture of what I've told you in this 15 minutes video above. This has everything here. Now comes the role of this consumer groups. Before going to consumer groups, I'll tell you the whole picture, what is built now in our plate. There were 4 producers. Suppose these are the billing counters in your Reliance store. This is billing counter 1, billing counter 2, billing counter 3, and billing counter 4. Okay. Then you have this is your Apache Kafka cluster. There you have different brokers there. For each broker, there are different topics inside the broker, right? Inside the topic, you have these partitions available. Okay. So I've defined the partitions as per my calculations, right? It can be the case where 2 partitions are being read by one consumer. These 2 partitions are read by this consumer 2 group, this consumer 2, and these 3 partitions are read by the consumer 3. Okay, so now this is the one case we can do. Other cases, for each partition there are different groups, or you can say that the consumers. For partition 1 is being read by the consumer 1. Partition 2 is being read by consumer 2. Partition 1 again is read by consumer 3. And partition 2 is being read by consumer 4. And similarly, for each partition, we have different consumer. It depends on the configuration that how you make. But if you see that the enormous data has been reduced and processed and consumed as per segregation. And in the result, everything is going by segregation, right? Consumer 1 is not reading all the messages, It's reading the messages whichever he wants, right? This is how we actually work in an big data environment, where we have bulk of data, millions of data flowing every day. Okay, then how to process that data? We will have to take help of Kafka. Nowadays it's being like mostly this Confluent Kafka is being used. It's also the better version of Kafka, you can say that. Okay, with the better UI. And earlier the Kafka was only operating on like this Apache Kafka is operating on this command line system only. But yes, this Confluent Kafka will give you any additional features, like you can operate on the UI as well. So that's was all about this video. Okay, so if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment sections. Okay, so I think I hope you might have a good idea now on what how this Kafka is being worked. Okay, in the real time system of the big data environment. And okay, I think that's all from my side. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.